The shadow of the city. The city of Neo-Kyoto hummed with a metallic thrum, a constant undertone to the lives lived within its towering chrome and glass. Among its shadows, Kenji moved like a wraith. His name, whispered in back alleys and hushed tones, evoked fear and grudges. Kenji was a man forged in the city's unforgiving underbelly, a master of illicit trades, his heart a hardened knot of ambition and resentment. He ran a network of street dealers, his face a mask of indifference, his eyes sharp with an almost predatory focus. His apartment, high above the bustling streets, was a stark testament to his success. Minimalist, expensive, and devoid of warmth. Yet beneath the polished surface of his life, a gnawing emptiness persisted, a quiet disquiet he attributed to the constant pressure of his world. He often found himself staring out at the neon glow of the city, a strange yearning stirring within him, a desire for something he couldn't name. The confrontation. One rain-slicked evening, a deal went sour. A rival gang, emboldened by a new leader, attempted to muscle in on Kenji's territory. The confrontation was brutal, a chaotic symphony of shattered glass, frantic shouts, and the glint of steel. Kenji, despite his years of experience, found himself caught off guard, a moment of hesitation costing him dearly. He sustained a deep gash on his arm, the crimson bloom spreading quickly across his expensive jacket. His crew managed to repel the attack, but the victory felt hollow. Later, as a medic stitched his wound, Kenji's mind replayed the scene. He saw the fear in the eyes of his opponents, the raw aggression in his own men. He felt a flicker of something he hadn't experienced in years. The endless cycle of violence, of dominance and retaliation, suddenly seemed utterly pointless. A glimmer of peace. Weeks later, his arm still bandaged, Kenji found himself wandering aimlessly, a rare occurrence for a man whose life was dictated by precise schedules. He passed a small, unassuming temple nestled between a bustling noodle shop and a flashing arcade. It was an anomaly in Neo-Kyoto, a pocket of ancient tranquility. Curiosity, a feeling he rarely indulged, tugged at him. He hesitated, then pushed open the heavy wooden doors. The air inside was cool and still, scented with sandalwood and old wood. A soft, melodic chant resonated through the space, a sound utterly alien to his urban existence. In the center of the room, an old monk with a serene, almost ageless face sat in meditation. Around him, a few devotees sat in quiet contemplation. Kenji, for the first time in a long time, felt a flicker of something other than anger or calculation, a strange, nascent peace. He didn't know why, but he stayed. He sat awkwardly on a cushion at the back, feeling like a predator amongst lambs. The monk's eyes, when they occasionally opened, held no judgment, only a deep, unwavering calm. Kenji tried to mimic the posture, his mind a chaotic whirlwind of past grievances, future plans, and the nagging discomfort of his own body. He felt foolish, out of place. The persistent hum of the chant, the steady breathing of the others, began to chip away at the edges of his internal storm. He left before the session ended, feeling a mix of embarrassment and a faint, almost imperceptible sense of curiosity. The silence of the temple, he realized, had been a profound contrast to the ceaseless noise of his own thoughts. Days turned into weeks, and Kenji found himself drawn back to the temple. He wouldn't participate fully, often just observing from the back, listening to the monk's soft-spoken teachings. One day, the monk, whose name was Master Hiroki, approached him. "You carry a great weight, young man," Hiroki said, his voice like rustling leaves. Kenji tensed, expecting condemnation. Instead, Hiroki offered a gentle smile. The path to lightness begins not by discarding the weight, but by understanding its nature. He spoke of mushin, the mind of no mind, of letting go of attachment and aversion. He explained that true strength wasn't in dominating others, but in mastering oneself. Kenji listened, a part of him rebelling against the softness of the words, another part strangely receptive. Seeds of change. Master Hiroki encouraged Kenji to try zazen, seated meditation. Kenji, despite his internal resistance, complied. The first few sessions were agony. His body ached, his mind raced, and the silence amplified his inner turmoil. He felt every itch, every muscle twitch, every intrusive thought. He wanted to flee, to return to the familiar chaos where he felt powerful. But something held him there. Perhaps the master's unwavering presence, or a nascent hope that this path might offer a different kind of power. Hiroki, sensing Kenji's struggle, simply said, "Observe your thoughts, but do not cling to them. They are like clouds, passing across the sky." Slowly, painstakingly, Kenji began to grasp the concept, even if only for fleeting moments. He started to notice the subtle shifts in his own reactions. A slight pause before anger flared, a flicker of doubt before a ruthless decision. The ripple effect. As Kenji continued his practice, subtle changes began to manifest in his life. He found himself less inclined to erupt in anger, more likely to observe a situation before reacting. His decisions, once driven by immediate gain and fear, became more considered. He started to treat his subordinates with a new, unexpected patience, and found that his directives were met with greater loyalty, not just fear. His old associates noticed the shift, questioning his newfound softness. "You're losing your edge, Kenji," one of them warned. But Kenji felt a different kind of edge, a quiet strength that didn't rely on intimidation. He was seeing the world and his place in it with new eyes. The stark duality of good and evil, victim and perpetrator, began to blur into a more complex tapestry of interconnectedness. Compassion unfolds. One day, he witnessed a petty thief being brutally beaten by a street vendor. In the past, Kenji would have walked past, dismissing it as the natural order of the streets. But this time, something stirred within him. He saw not just a thief, but a human being in pain. He intervened, not with violence, but with a quiet authority that surprised even himself. He offered the thief a meager sum, enough for a meal, and spoke to the vendor with a calm, reasoned tone that diffused the situation. Later, a profound realization washed over him. He had acted not out of self-interest, but out of a genuine impulse to alleviate suffering. It was a small act, but for Kenji, it was monumental. The seeds of compassion, planted by Master Hiroki's teachings, had begun to blossom. A new path. Kenji knew he couldn't maintain his old life while walking this new path. The dissonance between his actions and his growing understanding of interconnectedness became unbearable. He started to dismantle his criminal empire, a slow and perilous process. He divested himself of his illicit businesses, ensuring that those who depended on him were not left destitute, but guided towards legitimate work. He faced skepticism, threats, and even betrayal from those who couldn't comprehend his transformation. It was a period of immense challenge, a test of his newfound resolve. But with each step away from his past, he felt a lightness, a freedom he had never known. He continued his zazen, finding solace and clarity in the stillness. He began to help at the temple, offering his organizational skills to assist the community. The unfolding lotus. Years passed. Kenji, no longer known as the Shadow, became a respected figure in Neo-Kyoto's quieter circles. He established a community outreach program, helping young people escape the very life he once led, offering them education and opportunities. His face, once taut with tension, now held a gentle serenity. He still faced challenges, but he met them with an equanimity that baffled his former associates. He was a living testament to the transformative power of Zen, a criminal who found compassion through mindfulness. He often sat in the temple with Master Hiroki, not as a student, but as a fellow traveler on the path. He understood now that true power lay not in control, but in letting go, not in accumulation, but in generosity, not in fear, but in love. His life, once a tangled knot of self-interest, had unfolded like a lotus, revealing the inherent beauty and interconnectedness of all things.